Hello, I'm going to teach a beginner, which is me, the classical Sun Salutation. Okay, so we start the Sun Salutation in the mountain pose. So I'd like to ask you to firstly feel your feet on the floor and push your feet, the four corners of your feet, into the floor. Allow your body to be tall. Stand nice and tall with your shoulders back, palms out. Bring your navel in, gazing forward. And I would like you to bring your palms into that heart center. Now we can bring our arms up into the extended mountain pose. And if you have the ability, you can engage your glutes and slightly lean back. But this is optional to your level. Also, you can have your hands together at the top, but if you don't have that range of motion, if you're too tight in the shoulders, you can have your arms a little bit further apart. Okay, so that's the first part. We go into the the extended mountain pose and a slight setback if you desire. Now what we're going to do, we're going to hinge at the hips and we're going to go into the deep forward fold. Now you want to aim to keep your back nice and straight. If you don't have the flexibility in your hamstrings, you can have a slight bend. If you have kyphosis in the shoulders, meaning you hunch forward, then you can bend even further at the hips to alleviate any tightness. Okay, so we're going to bend down at the hips. At this point we can use blocks at any level. We can use blocks at any level to help assist. If you do have the flexibility to be able to touch the floor, then fantastic. Want natural, we want to elongate the spine, and the head wants to be in a neutral position. What we're going to do now is we're going to step back with, I'm going to step back with my right foot and rest the knee on the floor. We want our hands, our 5 fingers, 5 toes, and then your right hand 5 fingers, all nicely in a line. We want to be looking forward, nice and straight on the spine. You want your shoulders to be directly above your hands, and you don't want your knee to pass your toes. If you have the strength and ability to lift up, then feel free to while you're gazing forward. So this is the lunge pose. Okay, now we're going to drop that knee. If you want to, you can drop the knee or you can have it straight. And then we're going to take this leg back into the plank pose. With this position, you want your shoulders to be directly above your hands. You want to protract your shoulders, which means to push the shoulders forward. You want to elongate the scapula, which are the shoulder blades, and you want to lengthen the spine. Natural you want to be gazing down. Don't be looking forward, you want to be gazing down. Have nice light alignment from your heels straight through to your shoulders. If this is too demanding, you can drop down to your knees. As long as you keep your hands directly beneath your shoulders, that will be absolutely fine. Now we're going to go down into the pose, where we have we have 8 parts of our body touching the floor. We have our toes, or 2 sets of toes, 2 sets of knees. We will have 2 hands, chest and chin. This one here, we take ourselves into the cow pose. So you're pushing your belly towards the floor, so pushing your navel towards the floor, and you're bringing your bottom out. Now we drop forward so that our chest is touching the floor and our chin is touching the floor. We want to rest here for a moment. Now this is quite a demanding pose, so go very steady with this. And then from this position, we don't move the feet. It would be common to feel like you need to drive a foot out. We don't want to do that. We want to keep the feet the same. Keep the feet there because we want the chest then to glide forward and then into that baby cobra pose. Now if you have the flexibility, you can go up into the full cobra pose, not into the upward facing dog, but if your posture limits you, then you can go into the Sphinx pose where your elbows are on the floor. Now from this pose, this baby cobra pose, what we then do is we bring ourselves onto our knees, and we can sit back. And the reason I'm recommending sitting back like this, because this will lengthen our spine and get us ready for that downward facing dog. As we step up, we want to lengthen the spine. The goal here isn't to get your heels to the floor, more to lengthen the spine. Now if your heels do touch the floor, then fantastic. That's great flexibility on those hamstrings, and it's definitely a goal for us to achieve. Now if you've got tight hamstrings, you can bend your knees. Listen to your body, allow your body to teach you where you need to be. Now because I stepped back with my right foot first, now I'm going to step forward with my left leg. And I'm going to bring, some people can bring their legs all the way forward through the gate of the hands. But if you don't have that ability, if you don't have that flexibility or that range of motion, put your foot to wherever it can go and then use your hand to gently assist you forward, back into that lunge. We can drop the knee to the floor, or again, we can be in this position with a straight leg, looking forward. Again, we can use the blocks here as well if we need to, any of the heights. And then we will bring the back leg through the gate and we'll stand up into our forward bend, using the blocks if you need to. Then we'll breathe and come up, stand up nice and tall again, back into the mountain pose, gazing forward, elongating. Imagine that you have a golden thread, the top of your crown, top of your head, lifting you up nice and tall. And now we're going to bring ourselves back up again to the extended mountain pose. Gently lean back if you want to, not forgetting to engage those glutes. That helps protect the spine. And then we are going to go back down, and that's a complete cycle. That's not the complete cycle, that's half of the cycle. Now we've got to step back with the opposite leg, which in my case is my left. So from this position here, we do a forward fold. Again, using those blocks if you need to, slight bend to the knees. you don't have the flexibility in your hamstrings, you can use the blocks like so. You can use the blocks like so, like this, or if you have that flexibility, you can put your hands on the floor. So now we're going to step back with the left leg, which is the opposite side to what we just did. Dropping that knee to the floor if you need to, or you can keep it straight. You want your back to be nice and straight. You want those shoulders to be back. Gazing forward with your chin up. Knee on the floor or knee up. Then we're going to drop our hands and go back into that plank, protracting the shoulders. Doing the low plank if you need to. We could also, to make it even easier, on your knees, we could go on to using the blocks to bring our bodies higher to make it easier in this pose, into that plank. Okay, so from this position, we're going to drop our knees and then go to that chest, chin pose. Hands, chest, knee pose. Cow position. Make sure your hands are directly beneath your shoulders. We're in that cow position. And then we drop down. We want our chest to be in between our hands. Chest resting on the floor, chin gently touching the floor. Remembering not to move those feet. Now we want to drive forward into that baby cobra. Squeezing those elbows together. Now you can point your toes. If you can go to the cobra, go to the cobra. If you find that difficult, we can go to the Sphinx pose. Our elbows on the floor looking forward. Listening to the range of motion of your body, listening to your back. If anything hurts in your lower back or you have any feelings of tightness, really listen to your body. It's important to take care. So we're in this position here, into that baby cobra. Then we're going to go up onto your knees. Sit yourselves back to elongate your body. At this point, we're back onto our toes. Elongating that body. Then we're going to drive up into that downward facing dog. Gently easing your chest towards the floor, feeling that nice stretch in the shoulders and the hamstrings. Now we're going to drive through with our right foot if we can. If you can't drive it all the way through, again remember you can assist. Looking forward, back into that lunge. Now we're going to bring our foot back through, our left foot through, back into that forward fold, a deep forward fold, again using the yoga blocks if you need to. Bring yourself up. Sweeping your arms up into that high pose, into that extended mountain pose. Squeeze those glutes if you would like to have a gentle ease backwards. And then back to the hands in heart center. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you now know how to do the sun salutation like I do. Thank you very much and look forward to seeing you soon.